right, welcome everybody to the Tespa promotion tournaments here. Now we have a real treat for you. But first, introductions. I am Jamerson. You're going to be doing the solo cast for this series. But let's go ahead and introduce the teams now. We've got the champions of season 1 Tespa Collegiate Series. It is going to be UC Berkeley facing off against George Mason University. So really excited to see how the Berkeley team are going to be doing. It looks like they're having 2 stand-ins, but bringing it on back from season 1, we've got Aligned, Chic, Slurpee Thief, and the Chowster. But they do have 2 new additions to the roster. It's going to be Quantum and Izzy B. I think Style and the Chowster are supposed to be graduating, so that might be one of the reasons why that they've got these swap offs. But this is going to be great to see. I believe they won 3-0 in the grand finals of our live finals that took place back in February, if I remember correctly. It seems like a lifetime ago. But yeah, they're going to be facing off against George Mason University, who are going to be represented by Hamster Quest, Zerhominus, INFH, Protogeo, RKNM, and Griff. I believe George Mason had a really good run of things during our fall season. I remember them being on the the broadcast a few times during our 5-6 week stint. But beyond that, I can't quite remember their performance during like the regional playoffs and such. It looks like we're just getting the final ready ups from the teams, and as soon as we do, we should be getting things underway. And if Hollywood's the first map, or is it going to be Kings Row? Aligned is saying Kings Row. Let's just figure this out. I'm going to give them my ready, and we'll get this thing underway. But yeah, I mean, what can we say about Berkeley? They took a 3-0 victory over Toronto during our live finals, and it was in such a dominant fashion. They looked amazing on Kings Row. I believe Eichenwald, they just played absolutely stellarly, and even when we had to take it on over to Lijiang Tower, they looked pretty darn stellar. So they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, especially because they're bringing along some of the stronger or some of the more impactful players, right? From the grand finals. Aligned, he was doing so much work on that Genji throughout the entirety of the series, along with Tracer. There was some May play, but Aligned is going to be one person to look at, particularly in this matchup. Looks like they are opting to bring in a stand-in with Lampshade. Not sure if he's on the actual roster. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he did play with them during the fall season. But yeah. Oh, Daniel. Oh, Daniel. Okay, so it's going to be a very difficult game, to say the least. For some reason, we got Slurpee Thief in the spectator slot. Also, I need Slurpee on my team. There we go. Okay. Never mind. I'm making stuff up. Lampshade probably wasn't on their team. But yeah, Slurpee Thief is going to be their primary tank. He plays a lot of Reinhardt and a lot of Winston. Aligned, like I said, DPS, Genji, Genji, Tracer. He flexes really well and can play a pretty darn mean Zarya, along with Schick. I believe he flexes and DPSs. I run into him actually quite frequently, but his Zarya is also just as terrifying to play up against here. And Chowster is going to be the primary support, playing, I believe, Lucio is the role that he played during the majority of the fall season and the grand finals. Now, Kyle's not here. Line is an anagram for Linda E. Mercy, Berkeley coordinator. Hey, it's also an anagram for his name. That's actually kind of terrifying how that works out. The coincidences, guys. All right, so we're loading up onto Hollywood for our first map. Once again, Jamerson here. And it is, of course, going to be Berkeley starting off on the attacking end. Now, we've seen a lot of interesting things happen here on Hollywood, especially in OG and Apex. One of the more recent things we can look at in terms of different compositions, how teams want to try and play this out. I believe, I'm trying to remember this correctly, it was LW Blue who played point A defense running the triple support composition, where they're bringing along a Zenyatta, Lucio, and a Ana. But we're going to have something a bit more standard coming out. On the side of George Mason University, Protogeo is going to be on that Soldier 76, and we got the triple tank Hamster Quest with the Reinhardt, RKNM with the Winston, and Griff on the Roadhog. Zerhominus and INFH, of course, going to be picking up the support roles with Lucio and Ana. Pretty standard composition coming out from them. The issue with this one is that I am expecting a lot of aggression to come out from the side of Berkeley. They're already hovering over their picks right now. Izzy B's probably going to swap off either to Zenyatta, or there it is. It is going to swap off onto Zenyatta. And so it's not a heavy dive composition, but it's something that really does enable Schick, who's going to be on the Genji this time aligned, picking up Soldier 76. So they're going for a 2-2-2 composition themselves, a little bit more geared towards diving. Now we do have three members up on top, and Slurpy Thief immediately jumps up, but he gets biotic naded. He even gets put to sleep. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, but they've got rid of that Ana. Now Cal Berkeley pushing forward. Got the sustainability to actually stay within this. RKNM jumps on up. Alindo is going to challenge against the monkey. Forces him back. Hook comes out. Chalister's going to survive with that projected barrier, but they're trading on back on the side of George Mason. Slurpy Thief once again jumping on in with the rocket packs. Now they're forcing them back. Griff, though, landing hook after hook. Now Protogeo goes off top. He's on Gatorade. He's getting 3 shots off onto Izzy B, but Slurpy Thief tries to jump on. Is gonna have to just wait it out. They've got 4 members up on top as Schick comes back in with that. Genji will clean up Protogeo, and now they're staggering on to the point. We got the whole hog coming out, forcing them off. Tactical advisor coming out for a line. Daniel pushing forward, got some double kill. Now they're just getting the resets. Schick with the blade is gonna be on top of that monkey. Takes him out. Both takes now down. And after pretty protracted affair, they are gonna go ahead and take that first point. It took about 1 minute and 30 seconds. They got it here. Now they're not going to be able to snowball onto the streets phase here, as Slurpy Thief actually gets right on top of Protogeo, forcing him off the high ground. It's going to be Berkeley already with high ground control. The line finds a nice helix rocket on his Zerhominus, takes him out, and now RKNM also forced off the high ground here. We do have the swap off coming out. Not feeling comfortable on that Winston, going for that Diva. Payload, making good headway. He's got Chaucer and Izzy on top. Slurpy Thief jumped all the way onto the back line. He's got to be careful. He's facing off in his 4v1, but he plays that rocket pack really well. Now RKNM is forced out of the mech, but a great hook once again coming out from Griff. That's gonna take out a line. Slurpy Thief in the back line. Drop down super low, but he's got the primal rage forward, man. Graviton Surge comes out. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the follow-up damage. Here's the Earth Shatter, connects on to Chaucer. The charge, Chaucer somehow surviving throughout the entirety, and Schick coming in with another Dragon Blade. Picks up 3 with that, even the deflect kill. And now Berkeley just dominating the kill feed here. Griff, he gets a consolation hook, but not a kill to follow it up. Once again, this payload is going largely uncontested. They're going to have 5 minutes as we move on into the studio portion here, and the stragglers getting caught out. That's 2 kills for Berkeley now. George Mason is up against the ropes here. Another hook. Schick is going to go down, but still They're forcing them back. George Mason just regrouping, want to fight as a full 6-man group. They've got the tactical advisor. Alliance got his own, and Quantum's built up. Another Graviton Surge. Grav comes out, lands onto Zerhamadis and RKNM. They've got the first kill, and Slurpee Thief now on the hunt for more with the help of Sheik. And Genji really trying his best there, but Protogeo finally answers on back. At the end of the day, though, that's a 4-for-1 trade, and that's quite not enough. Aligned finds the kill onto his counterpart, and now they're on the hunt for this hog. The wild boar chase will be successful. Now, Aligned getting chased down by that Zarya, but we got the tactical advisor coming out. Hamster Quest was able to get the kill onto Izzy B. Might be able to force them back. Now, tactical advisor coming on out, but Sheik doesn't need a Dragon Blade, but he'll pull it out anyway. Hamster Quest getting focused down, and that is going to be Berkeley finishing off Hollywood here with so much time left on the board. 3 minutes and 41 seconds. Hollywood is already one of the more difficult maps to finish off. It's such a long map, but to finish it off with 3 minutes and 41 seconds, that is insane. And George Mason are just going to have such a difficult task here. So let's see what Berkeley have for their defense. Aligned, already hovering over Torbjorn, but generally, when we do see Torbjorn flexes, it is going to be one of the supports to swap on off, and people just running solo support. So I don't think Daniel's actually going to go for this. Oh, okay, so they're out the gates.
Barrier activated. I don't like this standing around.
And yeah, a pretty interesting way for Berkeley to actually play this. But they're going for just the double builder route. Let's not call it cheese quite yet, guys. But that is so much damage on the side of Berkeley here. We've got the Torbjorn, we've got the Symmetra. Sheik this time is going to be making his way onto the Soldier 76. We saw Aligned putting in so much damage, but the Sheik is also a highly accomplished DPS player slash take flex. And Quantum once again on that Zarya, so it is going to be the solo heals for Izzy B. He's going to have his work cut out for himself, but right now we're getting that Korean style dive coming out where we got the 2-2-2, we got the Genji Tracer along with Winston and Diva. It can be a very potent combination. Now, just the difficulty of this is running it into the Torbjorn. They just gotta do a good job of focusing on the turret, and Aligned, you actually forgot to make it a tier 2 turret. There we go. Gets the last hit on there. Now, we have a swap off coming out. They saw the Torbjorn and Protogeo. Instead, going for that Genji is gonna swap off on to that Pharah. So, Slurpee Thief was actually trying to protect the turret, but Quantum gets that first kill onto RKNM. The members of George Mason try to dive onto them inside Cafe. It's gonna be a 5-for-2 trade. The last we remember was Griff there. He is gonna finally fall on that Tracer. And once again, they have to deal with that Torbjorn turret. He's almost got multi-core. Aligns at 79%. And so Zerhamadis is actually going to swap off onto Mercy. Give him that extra damage boost so they can deal with it. So with all the members actually staggering and getting back in, that left a window open. Progeo just landing rocket after rocket. That's 2 members on down. Chowster is going to go ahead and put down the TP, but it might be too little too late. Aligned pops the molten core, but he didn't even have a turret down, so now they're just going to be able to clean this up. Line stuck in Cafe. Now Sheik was able to actually take the teleporter and get back up, and Chowster spots out Griff. Tactical Visor comes out from Sheik. Here's the Transcendence for INFH, but a huge biotic nade reduces the healing on 2 members of them. Hamster Quest actually able to somehow survive, but not for long as Slurpee Thief comes in with a huge 3-man Earth Shatter there. And what looked like a point A take for George Mason. Somehow, Berkeley are able to scrap back into this. Now, George Mason. They're gonna go ahead and dive in onto the high ground, but a Graviton Surge connects onto INFH, and that's all they're gonna get for their troubles there. Slurpee Thief even finding a kill onto Griff. Now it's a 6v4 in favor of Berkeley. These divers are trying to make the retreat. Protogeo Knight lands a nice shot onto Aligned during that, but Schick consistently hounding them down with that long-range hit scan. Was able to clean up RKNM. Now, they're gonna have the Nano Visor at the ready for this next push. It's gonna be on George Mason University to coordinate their ultimates well here. Go in, possibly try and bait out some ultimates on the side of Berkeley, and then go for the resurrection, and then use the rest of theirs. But there we go. Visor comes on out. It's gonna get the first kill onto Protogeo. Griff goes on down. That's 3 members down, but Zerhominus was not able to get into a good spot for that resurrection. And so we're down to our last 30 seconds here on Hollywood. George Mason University just not able to crack this defense quite yet. They only need one more tick. Blind has since swapped off onto that Tracer. Now there are very few ultimates to work with on the side of Berkeley. They do have that Earth Shatter. Slurpee Thief thought he saw it, but RKNM is the only person that's going to go down with the help of that Biotic Nade. Hamster Quest gets put to sleep, and now Slurpee Thief just going man-to-man, toe-to-toe with Hamster Quest. The line cleaning up. Finally, the res does come out for Zerhominus. Picks up 2. Charge comes out, but somehow Slurpee Thief will survive. Graviton Surge. Protogeo is going to go down. Now, it's all down to Winston and Griff on that McCree. He almost gets the kill onto Line, but he will get cleaned up here as overtime ticks on down. Now our former champions from Season 1 are going to be able to walk away with Hollywood. Clean victory there. They had 3 minutes and 40 seconds left on their clock. Got the full hold against George Mason here on point A. Did it in stellar fashion. There were a few hiccups when they were playing their defense, but they were able to stabilize off of the teleporter coming up from Chowster. And, well, there you go.
I've got you in my sights.
Yeah, this was that Nano Visor that we saw earlier. Unfortunately, Zerhominus. It could have been a really great play if he was maybe possibly playing from over by Dumpster, or even by security, to wait it out, come in for a res, and then get the re-engage. Unfortunately, though, there was just proper timing coming out from Schick, and I am blanking on the name right now. From Schick and Izzy. And so now we're moving on to map number 2. I think we're going to be trying to force East Coast servers real quick. Just because George Mason playing on 130, 130 ping, not the funnest of experience here. So hopefully we'll be able to get that for them. Now, once again, this is the Tespa Training Grounds promotion tournament. Teams have been competing throughout the entirety of spring. Now, we are coming towards the end of it, really. I know a lot of these schools have, I believe, graduated at this point. UCI should already be done. So if everyone's on the quarter, I forget if Berkeley's on the quarter system or the semester system. They should be done soon themselves. Now, it looks like we are going to Kings Row for our second map here. And this is just another map where the entirety of Berkeley looked absolutely dominant, especially in their game against Toronto for the grand finals. It was like no sweat off their back, just how well they were performing, every single player on that team. And we're seeing it today. First, just the deep hero pools coming out from each player. Currently, Schick, we saw, I believe he was on Genji and also 76 aligned. We've seen him on Zarya, Torbjorn, and now he's hovering over the Roadhogs. So Berkeley starting off on the defensive end. And they're going to go for a triple tank setup here. Once again, Quantum's going to be on that Zarya, and he was quite a monster with it. We even saw that Hail Mary Graviton Surge that just connected onto George Mason during Hollywood when they were actually on the studio set there. Ended up connecting with a 4-man grab. Now, on the offensive end, though, we've already got a triple DPS comp being hovered on over by the side of George Mason University. Protegeo's not going to have the Mercy with them this time. They're just going to go with the Lucio Zenyatta. So it's going to be that triple DPS dive coming out from the side of George Mason. They wrap around the backhand alley, and now Griff making his way on in. He's into the back hotel. RKM trying to chase down Schick. He's brought down low, and he's going to be the first one to fall. Now they've got the man advantage. RKM pushes forward. Berkeley is going to go ahead and contest the point, though, but now they're getting picked apart. Aligned was able to wrap around through hotel, find one kill onto Zerhominus, and will that be enough, though? Now Protégeo just getting free damage off. There's no one really to contest him in the sky, as Schick was the first person to go down. Now it's the hit scan to try and deal with the line, though. Coming alive with another hook, takes out Hamster Quest, and now they are stabilizing. They've got to be careful, though, as Slurpy Thief is making his way back on in. Reinhardt is here. He's starting to put the hammer down onto INFH. He will back off, though, as Griff falls. Now, things look so great. Unfortunately, they just didn't have that killer instinct on the side of George Mason to really follow up on the remaining members of Berkeley and allow them to just stabilize off the respawns. So now RKM will have that blade. They've got the sound barrier. On the side of Berkeley, though, they're working their way towards a lot of ultimate. Now we've got the Dragon Blade coming on out. Arcade back line. Slurpy Thief will go down. Out was Zerhominus picking up that first kill, but Schick not batting an eye. Won't be outdone. Trades on back. It's gonna be a 2-for-1, and now, oh no! The sound barrier not going off for Berkeley there. That's gonna allow George Mason to actually cap the first point. Aligned tries to go for that hook, but he will fall for his efforts. That was so close. There were so many ultimates, but it just came down to Jouster, unfortunately not able to actually get off that sound barrier there towards the end. Just right before he had landed and got the shields off for his team, he was picked off. And there, even though they were fighting into the man disadvantage, they had the ultimates to fight back into it. Now we're seeing how quickly that triple DPS dive composition could snowball, but hook, oh, excuse me, the pulse pump comes on out, gets healed right on up, and now UCB pushing forward. But the first pick onto RKM, we're going to force them off the payload. Still though, they have plenty of time to work with on the side of George Mason University. 3 minutes and 50 seconds left. 5 ultimates in tow for Berkeley here. They're just currently sitting in the driver's seat. A huge power spike right now. Alright, Graviton Surge comes on out. They use the Earth Shatter also, but Transcendence will heal them. 2 kills off of that. Protégeo trying his best to find a good spot for his barrage, but he gets picked off by Quantum, and now Slurpy Thief just on the chase for Griff, but Griff will be able to make it back to the safety of his team. Never mind, Quantum on that Zarya just supercharged up. Will not let him make an escape. Quantum's currently sitting on 85% charge. Just melting through this really squishy members of George Mason University right now. Next fight. Berkeley are just in such a great spot. We had the pulse bomb come on out, but it did get blocked by the majority of that damage going down to the projected barrier. Now Aligned finds 2 kills on that hog. It's going to be a 2-for-2 trade, but Hamster Quest with the Primal Rage was able to get the kill onto the Quantum. Now Aligned on the hunt for Zarhominus, misses the hook, but will be able to just land 2 left clicks to finish him off. Now he's the one being hunted down, but RKNM, does he really want to take this battle? Now he does have the help of Protogeo, so Aligned will finally go down there at the end. Now the payload is still making good headway here. 2 minutes left on the clock for George Mason to get the second checkpoint. Trophy Thief getting hunted down. He will fall to Protogeo. Hamster Quest a little bit caught out here, but oh, Quantum finds the kill onto RKNM. Are they going to try and challenge this? Unfortunately, they're not able to make it onto the point. So George Mason will be able to get that checkpoint. Another pulse bomb comes out. Griff has been building these up so quickly. Quantum, the only man on the side of Berkeley with the ultimate here. He's got that Graviton Surge at the ready. Hasn't been finding that much value off of it here on King's Row, but this is one of those locations where it becomes a little bit easier. Transcendence now coming on out. Quantum finds the first kill onto Hamster Quest. Here's the Transcendence. It connects onto the majority of them. That's going to be 4 members of George Mason going down. Now Griff just cornered Quantum once again. Just super high energy. Easily able to just cut through the really fragile members on the side of George Mason. Now we are seeing swap balls coming on out. Griff picking up the McCree. That actually happened earlier on in the Streets phase, but it's Hamster Quest changing on over to this Reinhardt. We had the blade coming out. RKNM able to hunt down Izzy B, but once again, Quantum. Super high energy, cuts him down. Slurpy Thief finds the kill onto Griff. Navarro's got to be careful as the hook comes in. INFH is going to fall. Now Protogeo doesn't have much space to work with, and that's going to be allow Aligned to clean him up. Quantum pushing right past this Reinhardt to Hamster Quest. He's going to be cut down right where he stands. Spawn camp coming out from Berkeley right now. Berkeley really finding their footing here once we got to the boundary portion. Quantum's gonna have another Graviton Surge. I mean, when your average energy is around 80-90% and you're able to track really well, especially against like tanks like the Reinhardt, you build these up amazingly quickly. There we go. Graviton Surge comes out. Whole hog with a sound barrier, and the barrage comes out to counter it. So that's going to be 2 members going down on the side of Berkeley, but here's the Tactile Visor coming out with the Nano Boost for Schick. He does finally fall. Still, they are starting to stabilize on the side of Berkeley. It's just Hamster Quest and Protogeo. The rest comes out. Zarhominus wasn't able to bring up RKNM, so that's just 5 members on the payload right now. Slurpy Thief posturing forward. The charge comes out. Hamster Quest might have overextended with this. He will be able to make it on out. Protogeo finds the pick on to Aligned though, so now it's gonna be 6v5. Deadeye coming on out. Griff connects onto Schick, and now once again pushing forward with that man advantage. Quantum though making his way towards another Graviton Surge as the Shatter did come on out. Quantum still in the back line, just cleaning up. 2% away from that grab, and now it's coming down to the final push here. Really, I don't know if they're gonna have the opportunity to be able to get back on this point. It's 5 seconds left as INFH is trying to make his way back to his team. There's 1 second left. No one's able to make it on the point. There we go. Berkeley able to stabilize once they got into the foundry portion, and really off the back of Quantum, he was continually staying alive, high energy. Towards the end there, it was just 80-90% the entire time, building up Graviton Surges every minute. Although that final grab was played pretty well on the side of George Mason. They had a lot of ultimates to really counteract it. They had the sound barrier coming out, and then going for that barrage. It kind of baited Berkeley there towards the end. But Still, they were able to put a stop to George Mason University there. At the end, it was only 62.26 meters. Nice palindrome. That actually pleases me quite unexpectedly. But now it's going to be Berkeley on the offensive end here. So they do have a win condition in their pocket. And now they're hovering over that triple DPS dive composition, or excuse me, just the 2-2-2 dive composition themselves. Quantum once again on that Zarya. And why not? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. His Zarya has been pretty stellar. This time it's going to be aligned going on to Genji and Schick, picking up the Tracer. So that's just a very potent DPS combo coming out from them. Now on the defensive end for George Mason University, they're gonna opt for the triple tank setup themselves. They got the Reinhardt, Zarya along with the Roadhog, and we saw Aligned when he was on that Roadhog doing an expert job of actually playing the hotel, which is one of the strongest places to really play him.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attack commencing.
We saw on the Berkeley defense, Protogeo, or excuse me, I believe it was Schick, getting caught out on that Soldier 76 on the high ground, and immediately we do see the two members that are able to get high ground here on the side of Berkeley going on up to challenge it, but this time Protogeo does have the help of the Ana for now. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade as Zerhominus goes down, and Schick going down isn't too bad on the side of Berkeley. It is Tracer. He's going to be able to get back into the fray really quickly. Now, Slurpy Thief jumps into the backline, has to be careful. RKM is pretty high charge, so he started to cut into him. Protogeo will be able to clean that up, but already it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade as Griff was able to land that hook onto Aligned, taking him on out, but Schick just getting free damage off onto Hamster Quest. He's just an old battery for him. Schick's at 90%, but we do have the Nano Boost coming on out. Hamster Quest pushing forward, but he gets cleaned up by Schick. And so that Nano is going to waste as Schick is just cleaning house here up against George Mason University, and that's going to allow Berkeley to take the point in relatively easy fashion.
Escort the payload.
Hamster Quest getting challenged, pushed back all the way to the boundary portion right now, and Schick once again. Aggression knows no bounds. Getting free damage off. He's got that pulse bomb, so George Mason really do have to be wary. Now, the saving grace is that they are going to have Zarya with, of course, that projected barrier, so any pulse bomb target will be able to, make it out safely. Aligned getting spotted out in pipes, but he did have the support of Circuit Thief there. Now, there we go. We've got the Graviton Surge. We got the Pulse Bomb. Schick with the 5-man set up expertly by Quantum. And Quantum has been so good about connecting with these Graviton Surges. It was just a matter of time before that Big Bang combo comes out. And there it is. Schick will clean it up for the ace. That's going to make it onto the highlight reel, guys. And with almost no effort, really, UCB, Cal Berkeley able to just get that first checkpoint, no problem. Quantum finding a kill onto RKM. Slurpy Thief put to sleep. He's actually going to be able to make it out with that Primal Rage. He's was actually able to get a second shift reset because the Primal Rage had ended the proper time. Now Earthshatter comes out, but it's blocked by the Winston shield. Transcendence comes on out. Here's the Deadeye for Griff. Last time he was able to connect out to Schick, but we got the sound barrier also on the side of Berkeley. Now, Aligned with that Dragon Blade, trying to hunt down Protogeo. Will finally be able to clean them up. Not in proper position for resets here, but with the right clicks, gets the kill out to Zerhominus, and now Aligned. Now getting the resets. We'll clean up RKM. Berkeley making this look easy. Getting to the finish line there. And they're going to take a quick 2-0 lead up against George Mason.
Victory. Play of the match.
If we see the play of the game here, is it going to be that Oh, it's not actually. There were just so many pulse bombs to look out for. Quantum, throughout the last 2 maps, he has landed so many high impact graviton surges. I can see why that they've been putting him on this Zarya. Really, the lineup coming out from Berkeley, it's such a multi-pronged threat. Any one of them can flex off onto Zarya, Aligned, Schick, and Quantum at this point. And so having that flexibility, really allowing Aligned either on Genji, Tracer, or 76, or even Schick on Genji, Tracer, or 76, it creates this interesting dynamic for Berkeley where they get to pull out all sorts of random compositions and just play towards their strengths and their comforts, and we're seeing that right now. I mean, Quantum, time and time again on King's Row, just coming up huge with Graviton Surges, staying really high energy. His barrier management has been fantastic too, and I'm coming up on this part of the stream where we're about to get that huge 5-man Graviton Pulse Bomb, and I'm watching it again. It was just expertly set up coming out from Berkeley there. And so now it looks like we're moving on. And we can make sure it's close. Oh, wait, actually, I don't know. We are going to map 3, right? Okay, so yeah, it's going to be Watch Point Gibraltar for map number 3. And, you know, we got 3 escort maps. Well, 2 hybrid and now a full escort map coming on out, but currently UCB or Berkeley just looking absolutely stellar in their play here. It's going to be Berkeley starting off on the attacking end. George Mason on the defense first. With Zerhominus hovering over the Mercy, thinking possibly Farah. Still, they have plenty of time to decide. It's 15 seconds before anyone spawns. So yeah, already we do have that pharmacy composition or combo being covered on over as they do make it out of the spawn gates. Gonna be a 2-2-2. Griff currently on Genji. Now this is an interesting composition. This is not one that I'm actually used to on Gibraltar. I rarely see anything like this in my own games. Rarely seen anything like this in pro level games. Well, we got the pharmacy on Gibraltar defense. Reinhardt, Winston, and the Genji. Now, this is a highly mobile composition.
Maybe it's best it stay there.
But right now, we've got a line on Widowmaker for Berkeley. They're going for a 2-2-2 themselves. Serpy Thief's gonna be on the Winston. We've got, of course, Quantum on that Zarya. Here we go. We've got the hook shot coming out. It does connect on to that Reinhardt, but he will get healed up. And now Align play this Widowmaker in a pretty interesting position, really. But there it is. The headshot lands onto Zerhominus, and now that fire doesn't have that Mercy behind it. He finds a second shot. Proto Geo going on down. It doesn't matter. Even if he had that Mercy, the headshot's just too strong. Hamster Quest brought down to 1 HP. Even the Winston getting cut down. Quantum coming in with a flank, and now Berkeley absolutely demolishing the defense coming on out. Started off with the line getting these huge picks. He's already at 87 towards that recon visor, and Griff getting cornered in is able to make it out with that swift strike. Never mind, a line. 3rd headshot in a row. Alright, so we got the Diva coming on now from Hamster Quest now, but the defense matrix does nothing against the Zarya and Winston. He just gets absolutely cleaned up. Aligned, not missing a shot here. Finally, just spams one around the corner, but Berkeley making this look so dominant so far, and we're seeing why they were the Tespa Fall champions. Align sticking on this Widowmaker now, forcing George Mason to just regroup here. We've got the Genji, we've got a Winston and a Diva, but Align ain't afraid of anything here. Lands with another shot. There we go, headshot onto INFH. Align just been continuing on the kill feed. Now Griff finally gets the kill onto Slurpy Thief, who did overextend a little bit. Protogeo was able to land a few shots onto the line, but he will survive for now. He's getting hunted down. The Dragon Blade comes out from Griff. He will be able to finally put a stop to this man. George Mason now stabilizing as we get into the shuttle portion of Gibraltar here. See, Aligned is now finally swapping off here, getting a little bit more meat on the bone of this composition. He's gonna pick up that Roadhog.
Thanks for the assist.
To deal with the triple tank, Slurpy Thief jumps into the back line after Hamster Quest. He does have his mech, so I'm surprised that Hamster Quest hasn't called the mech down. Now Griff is able to pick up that kill onto Slurpy. I think it's going to be 6v5 in favor of George Mason University as Hamster Quest is making his way on top. Maintaining this high ground control, Aligned will be there to challenge him, but he's getting focused on down now. We did have Shik actually swapping off on Soldier 76 with the hook coming in. Hamster Quest will get demec'd here. He's dropped down 11 HP, and now Aligned just cleaning on up. Griff goes down. We've got the Graviton Surge, but the Transcendence not going to be enough to keep Hamster Quest alive. But we do have the res coming up from Zerhominus. Unfortunately, Protogeo falls right afterwards. Transcendence coming out on the side of Berkeley now as Quantum just pushing forward with this Zarya, putting in so much work so far. And they're just gonna be able to clean this up. So with that, Berkeley able to get that second checkpoint. But behind enemy lines is Griff along with Zerhominus. Zerhominus is just gonna go ahead and jump off the ledge there along with Griff, so as to not get staggered and give away free charge. Hamster Quest forced out of his mech will go down. And the line, doesn't matter if it's on Widow or on Hog, he's doing such a great job of just shutting down individual members of the side of George Mason University. Now they were able to regroup as a full 6 and push out from their spawn. Hook comes on out, miss, but we've got the tactical visor coming out from Shik on top. Does have to back off as he's dropped down to 72 HP as Protogeo finds the kill onto Slurpy Thief, and nothing really coming of it there. Now we do have that self-destruct coming out. Won't quite connect onto the members of Berkeley, but it will force them back. Chick still on the high ground, now getting hunted down by Diva. He's got the Orb of Discord on him, but Hamster Quest dropped down to 40 HP, has to back off. Might get demec'd once again. He will. Chick able to farm up 50% towards his ultimate there, right off that mech. Now Slurpy Thief with the Primal Rage, dropped down 300 HP, trying to get on the hunt for this Mercy, but he's dropped down, will fall to INFH.
Thanks for the assist.
A lot of ultimates ready in tow for George Mason. They've got the Barrage, they've got the Resurrection, along with the Transcendence, but Berkeley are working their way towards huge amount. We do have that res. Is he gonna go for that tempo res? No, he's just gonna wait it off himself. Zerhominus has to be careful as the high ground is being completely controlled by Berkeley, and now Slurpy Thief comes in with a great charge, takes out RKNM. Protogeo went for that Barrage, only picking off Quantum there before he falls. But now they are forced back into the spawn. We've got the whole hog coming out from a line, forcing them in. Now the payload, mere meters away from making to the end, and Shik now can push forward. He's got that tactical visor. Is it going to receive the Nano 4? They're going to go ahead and put it onto Slurpy Thief there on that Reinhardt. But a good Earth Shatter came on out. Put a stop to that for now, but Slurpy Thief's got an Earth Shatter of his own. Graviton Surge comes out. They've got everything in the world to finish this out, but the whole hog coming out from Griff is going to force them off the payload for now. Slurpy Thief dropped down to 200 HP, and it's going to be Griff that cleans it up. And in the final meters there, George Mason were able to stabilize on their defense and stave off Berkeley. Minute 30 seconds left on the clock for Berkeley. Push at the final few meters.
Why are we stuck? Get the lid out and move this payload.
Ooh, Hamster Quest has to be careful. Doesn't want to get demeched here. Remember, the only real counterplay that they have for Schick's tactical advisor is going to be that defense matrix, but it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade now as Griff falls. Slurpy Thief drops for his efforts. Schick, the great Helix Rocket, will connect onto Protogeo, who has swapped off onto that Tracer. Bullhawk coming out from a line. Transcendence is going to be used in response on the side of George Mason. Here's a self-destruct. He actually connects onto a line. He didn't have Slurpy Thief there to try and play line of sight. And now Schick with the Orb of Discord on him. Drops down low. Hamster Quest has to fall back though. Quantum once again. Super high charge. Looking for another grab here. Quantum sitting at 55 charge. He's got that Graviton at the ready. Just has to be careful. Is going to go for the D-Mech and immediately on Surge connects onto RKM and Hamster Quest. They're going to be able to clean that up. Now Protogeo trying his best to keep it alive, but there it is. Their Hominus comes in with the resurrection, but they've got the great counter to it. We've got the tactical advisor coming on out. Schick cleaning everyone up just like that in overtime. Berkeley will be able to finish off Gibraltar here.
Complete. Score 0-3. Switching sides.
Now, it's going to be George Mason University on the offense. Berkeley, though, hovering over some interesting picks, and looks like they're just going to play standard triple DPS dive comp. That rogue comp probably coming out. Actually, no, Quantum hasn't played much else but Zarya, and why not? He's been pretty consistent with it so far over the course of these last 3 maps. And so it's just going to be a 2-2-2 aligned on Soldier 76. Schick picking up the Genji there. On the offense, though, Griff currently hovering over the Widowmaker himself. Fancies his chances on this Widowmaker. And we saw the strength of Widowmaker on offense here on Gibraltar. There are so many angles to cover that the defense really can't prepare for it properly. And if you find one pick, you can easily snowball, make it safe to push your way through Car Wash, that lower tunnel section there on your way to the first checkpoint. Now, this is going to be a triple DPS. Not quite divey composition, as Protogeo is going to be picking up the pharmacy combo. Griff on this Widowmaker. Hasn't found anything quite yet. There it is. Headshot onto a line. And how about a taste of your own medicine at that point? As Slurpy Thief goes a little bit too far. Gets taken on out. And Griff just getting all this free space in the world. Finds a second shot. Takes out Izzy B. This is looking similar to Berkeley's push. Now they're on the hunt for more as Protogeo pushes forward towards the spawn. He's gonna have to back off just a little bit there. Berkeley trying to make their way out. Now a line finds the flank, gets the kill on Zara far for his efforts, and Slurpy Thief finding a second now. Fighting off a little bit more than they could actually chew here. But Griff still getting free damage off. Landing these body shots as the recon visor does calm out. In for sight. Not gonna allow them the option to get that kill onto Schick, though, as he's able to clean up INFH. Now Griff got the Mercy in tow. Oh, but he's got to be careful. He's getting jumped on by Slurpee Thief now, and oh no, Zerhaman is caught out in the middle of the fall. And so this composition losing steam. Now Griff getting hunted down, 44 HP, but he will make it to the safety of his Zenyatta for now. As the respawns are coming in for George Mason University. Alright, so the defense has stabilized. George Mason pushing forward, but we got the tactile visor coming out from a line. He's on the sky bridge here. They're just gonna play line of sight, but they're just cornered cats. INFH dropping low. He's gonna get hunted down. That's Slurpee Thief coming in for a second kill. They're just cleaning house here. Looking like Envy and Rogue, just spawn camping at this point. Zerhaman is forced back into his spawn, almost falling for George Mason. Chaucer cleaning up that final frag. Minute 45 seconds left on the clock. There are plenty of ultimates on both sides here, but it's going to be Quantum with that Graviton Surge once again. At the ready. Primal Rage comes out from Slurpee Thief. It's going to force them all back. INFH though. Quantum almost brings him down by himself. Now Aligned will clean up Protogeo, and they're already 65 in favor of Berkeley. Schick finding his second kill onto INFH. Primal Rage comes out from Hamster Quest. That's not going to be enough. He needs to get these environmental kills because there's just too much sustain. And there we go. Aligned now pushing forward with that tactical visor. Picks up the kill onto RKM. Once again forcing them back into spawn. 1 minute left. Griff falling is just going to stagger them even more.
Much better.
Graviton Surge comes on out as they try to make their exit. Two members going down. We've got the Dragon Blade coming on out from RKM. Unfortunately, the sound barrier is there. Coming out from the Chowster.
30 seconds remaining.
Now we're left with 30 seconds. George Mason University not able to push this payload beyond our wash portion. Hamster Quest actually caught out in his spawn, dropped down to 100 HP. They've been sitting on these ultimates for so long on the side of George Mason. Almost got a line. He was dropped down so low, but the Transcendence will get used on the side of George Mason. But as soon as it fizzles, they are getting focused down. RKM finally gets a kill on to Quantum. Still, this payload has a long way to go, and two members going on down. Slurpee Thief finds the kill onto Griff. Protogeo will be able to clean up Schick. The Primal Rage comes out once again for Slurpee Thief. Barrage is not enough as Izzy B cleans that up. RKM will trade on back, but here's the trance coming on out from Izzy B. Is it going to be enough? RKM finds the kill onto the line. Griff, second onto Izzy B, and this might just be it. Might just be enough as Slurpee Thief drops on low. He's dropped down to about 2 HP, and Protogeo will clean that up. And finally, the spawn camp getting punished here. But so many ultimates had to be used here. We are in overtime. They cannot get off this payload. There we go, Protogeo connecting with those shots, taking out Schick. And despite all that, George Mason will be able to actually get the first checkpoint and add 2 minutes and 20 seconds, 2 minutes and 30 seconds onto their clock here. High ground getting contested right now. Proto getting challenged by Slurpee Thief. Hamster Quest finds the kill onto Izzy B. Oh, Proto dropped down at 3 HP, but he will never mind. Schick with the swap off onto McCree will clean him up. They're forced back once again. Now they're just going double hit scan to deal with this Pharah. You got another Grav at the ready. Quantum not able to keep his energy at the same rate that he was on King's Row, but still doing a good job of building up these Gravitons relatively quickly. Now, we do have the pulse bomb for Griff, but there's the Grav. Is there going to be a follow-up? There's only the one caught in it. That's INFH. Griff finds the kill onto Izzy B. That's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of George Mason, and Quantum walks into that pulse bomb. Now the payload. It was on borrowed time before, but now they're making good headway. Snatch Quest finds a kill onto Schick. Zerhominus will be able to keep them all topped off here. The whole hog was committed. And now Tactical Visor coming out for Aligned.
60 seconds remaining.
He's facing off against the Winston, and that's not what you want to see as soon as you pop that. He does spot out the Mercy. Zerhominus dropped down low, and he will get taken on down. Aligned, though, is dropped to 40 himself, but he's got that biotic field to keep him alive. Finds the second kill onto INFH, and that's both supports down on the side of George Mason University as the sound barrier comes out from Chauster there. Might have been a little bit too much committed there as they had already gotten both supports, but hey, 30 seconds left on the clock. Just, you know, commit to these wins. Schick cleaning up too. Now they're just posturing for the spawn camp. Aligned, where are? Okay, just go to Aligned and take a look at where he's at right now. He's going for the solo spawn camp right now, getting free damage off. RKM actually dropped really low due to this, and he's got the high ground this entire time. Sound barrier did come on out, but it's gonna fizzle without soaking up that much damage. Now the blade does come on out for Protogeo. He only gets the one onto Schick, hunting down Aligned, finds a second. It's gonna be a 2-for-2 trade here. They are on the hunt for more. Izzy B goes on down. Proto, with the swap off into Genji, has been doing so much work getting the dash reset, and it looks like Slurpee might have actually fallen out of the server here. Now, Proto just cleaning house with these resets. Again, Swift Strike after Swift Strike, getting right on top of them. Aligned, about to get cleaned up here, and we are getting a call for a pause, so as soon as the line goes down, we should have a pause. They are coming into contest on the side of Berkeley. Aligned with a nice flank. Is going to be able to clean up Proto as RKM finds a second onto Aligned. Now the whole hog coming on out. That's going to force them off. Now Berkeley want the pause, but they're continuing this fight right for now. Just trying to. There we go. Finally getting the pause coming on out. But yeah, really, that entire time, George Mason pushing the payload on borrowed time, but somehow they were able to make it in the end off the heroics. Really really going off. He had a difficult time playing on that Farah. Once we got to the shuttle portion here, though, once he got onto the Genji, was able to get a lot of these dash resets and contest Aligned a little bit more successfully. Was having a difficult time on that Farah. Now they're in the final stretch there. A minute 12 left on the clock. It's still going to be very difficult. I mean, generally, once you get to this last stretch, you want about 2, maybe 3 minutes left on the clock. And now one team wipe, and it might just all be over. So currently, we're just waiting for Slurpee Thief to reconnect to the server. And as soon as he does, we'll get this match right back underway. Currently, Berkeley leading in this promotion series 2-0 up against George Mason. They're able to defeat them on Hollywood and Kings Row. If I remember correctly, that was our last map, and they did it in a spectacular fashion. One thing I didn't talk about in the last few minutes, Quantum did swap off onto the Diva here. I don't know what that was in real response to. It might have been Griff being a threat on the Tracer, or also just to be that little bit of extra insurance. While barriers from Zarya are nice to deal with, you know, the hooks coming out from Hog, the defense matrix is arguably one of the strongest abilities in Overwatch right now. Just the amount of ultimates it can shut down by itself, you know, eat up gravitons, eat up pulse bombs, whole hogs, just everything, and also being able to safeguard your teammates when they get hooked in. You have to remember the way the defense matrix works now. You don't have that minimum distance needed to travel for the projectiles to get eaten up by the defense matrix. So you can save anyone that gets hooked in, and there's an HP limit on Zarya's barriers, while defense matrix, it's only just limited by the resource meter. So the utility of it, it's pretty astounding, really. Um, since that rework, a lot of players really discovering how to micromanage their defense matrices. And I haven't actually been keeping an eye on Quantum to see how well he's been doing it, but for the most part, I think both sides, when they have been running a diva, have been doing a pretty successful job. We've seen a lot of diva players just be this very supportive style diva also, where they're consistently just staying with their back line and peeling and making sure that people like Tracer can't focus down the supports. All right, now we are back into the match. Has resumed. We got Serpent Thief back into the server. There's a minute left. And a whole heck of a long distance to be covered. High ground being controlled so far from the line. He gets hunted down, dropped super low. He will get cleaned up by Ham. So now it's a 65 in favor of George Mason as they're pushing forward. RKM has swapped off onto the Zarya. The pulse bomb does come on out, and Chickens will be able to connect onto RKM. We do have the resurrection at the ready as the sound barrier does come out on the side of Berkeley's. Their Harmon is getting focused down. It's going to be a line that cleans it up. Proto only able to get one kill off that trade. They're forced back into spawn again. There's only 9 seconds left. They have to get back on out here, but Berkeley just don't want them to get out. INFH is going to go ahead and push forward, but we do have the tactical visor. The nano visor coming up from a line. He's on the high ground right now, getting free damage off. Dragon Blade does come on out. Slurpy Thief, though, with the Primal Rage, gets the kill onto Griff, and now, finally, the Resurrection comes on out, but it does not pick up Griff. Sir Harmonious has to be careful. He's dropped down low, but it looks like they might have just done it. Force them back as INFH cleans up Izzy B here. Slurpy Thief trying his best, though, trying to get back with this team, but he's in the middle of no man's land. A line once again getting jumped on by Ham's request. He will fall. We are in overtime here. They're staggering on out on the side of Berkeley. Griff picking up Quantum. Oh no, Chowster caught out from the rest of his team. They're gonna do it. So in overtime, again, they will complete out the map. Both sides will get 1 minute added onto their clock. So we swap sides once again. It's going to be Berkeley on the attacking end here. So now, we're seeing some interesting hovers coming out on the side of Berkeley. Aligned on Diva, Quantum once again on the Zarya, and Slurpy Thief on Winston. The Schick that solo DPS on Soldier 76. While on the side of George Mason, they're going for a 2-2 composition, and we've seen how strong Roadhog can be here on Gibraltar defense. Pretty sure everyone's aware of Harblue by now. And this is, you know, where like his claim to fame really came to his solo shutdown of Cloud9. This was almost a year ago, really.
60 seconds.
And so we'll see if RKM can play that same style of Roadhog. That Rogue Hog, really, as they try to challenge George Mason on the high ground. Remember, they've only got the 1 minute. They can't waste any time. They have to get this payload moving. Again, they're being forced back. Slurpy Thief, though, getting focused down. The Biotic Nade connected onto him. He will fall as Proto finds that kill with the Genji. Resets onto a line now. The hook came on out, so he wasn't able to defense matrix a lot of those. He gets demeched and will fall. The line was able to trade. for RKNM. Ashik
My ultimate is
with the
charged.
Helix rocket, with the follow-up shots, was able to clean up Griff. Now the payload making its way on in, and Slurpee Thief continually. They've been doing a really good job on the side of George Mason University of just focusing him down when he dives on in. He's gonna pop that Primal Rage, force them back into that spawn area, and the high ground being completely controlled on the side of Berkeley as Quantum finds the kill onto Hazard Quest. Hook comes on out, but Quantum will be able to bury that up. Sound barrier on the side of George Mason though, and they've got the Nano Blade Proto leading on up. He was able to trade on out, but here's a resurrection coming on out from the Chowster. That's a full res coming on out. And in overtime, Berkeley will be able to push this into the hangar section. Aligned immediately, getting the shuttle ground control, and oh no, Griff almost caught out, definitely caught out. Aligned is gonna get demeched for his efforts, but that's a pretty nice trade. Diva mech for a Soldier 76. Remember, they're on borrowed time. It's an overtime push here. It's been an overtime for quite a while now. If anyone gets off the point, that rope's gonna burn really quickly. Now, full 6-man regroup coming on out. RKNM on top of Quantum. Whole Hawk comes out. They're just trying to force them off the point. It's just Izzy B here. And now, Izzy B somehow able to make it back onto the point, and finally they're able to regroup on there. It's gonna be a 2-for-1 trade, make that a 3-for-1. Tactical advisor coming out from Sick here. He's just that insurance policy to make sure they're able to complete this out. Remember, you don't want to die with any ultimates here, especially in overtime. You use them as you get them. Aligned has that self-destruct at the ready. INFNH gonna immediately throw himself off the ledge there, try to reset with his team, but Zerhominus not as lucky as a support partner there. And what a crazy 1 minute push so far.
Patched up.
Proto, he's got another nano, or excuse me, he's got another Dragon Blade. Doesn't have the nano quite yet. INFH making his way there, 10% off. But the self-destruct will be there to actually counterplay up against it. Graviton Surge comes out. Here's the self-destruct, but it doesn't matter. His 3 members have already gone down. Now the Dragon Blade coming up from Proto, but he doesn't have the nano quite yet. Finds the 1 kill onto Chowster. Shik cleans that up. Now 2 members pushing forward. Griff has swapped off onto Sombra to try and stall for as long as he can. He isn't able to translocate on out. Slurpee Thief will be able to fall on top of him to clean that up. Now the boost coming out on the Hamster Quest though. This is actually a really potent combo as both sides going for the nano boost in Winston. It's gonna be Hamster Quest that gets 1, finds a second onto Shik, but still the payload getting pushed right now as Quantum finds a kill onto INFH. Now it's gonna be a 2v4 on the payload. Hack comes out from Griff, but they don't have the DPS quite there. Nice kiting coming on out from that Mercy. Chowster just sitting on this rest as the self-destruct comes out from a line. Will clean up Zerhominus. RKNM immediately getting demeched. Just like that, Berkeley get the full push. Yikes.
Score.
It was an overtime from
Switching sides.
Car Wash all the way to the 3rd checkpoint here. Berkeley, just a monumentous push. They've already got the 2-0 lead, and now they're stacking the cards even more so in their favors, as now George Mason is going to be on the offensive. They've got a minute to complete out this map. It's gonna be a Herculean. It's gonna come down to like a Herculean effort on the side of George Mason to try and make this map a draw. That's the best that they can hope for at this point, and they have a minute to do it, along with overtime. The defensive setup coming out from Berkeley. They're going with a triple tank support or triple tank line once again, aligned on the Diva. Quantum, of course, picking up the Zarya. Slurpee Thief on the Winston.
2, 1. 60 seconds remaining.
They're going for that 2-2-2 dive. Diva, Tracer, Winston, and the Genji. But immediately, Berkeley just trying to burn down that clock as much as possible, diving into the back line, not letting them get any push on that payload for free. Line just contesting for the most part, as Griff, though, was able to get the kill onto Schick. Now they're starting to clean house. Proto finds the kill onto Quantum as Slurpee continues to push to the back line.
20 seconds
But the thing about this composition is just to try and burn as much time off that clock as possible. Already they're down to 20 seconds left, and they're only making it past that car wash just now. 3 members caught out in server room right here. A line getting topped off. Sir Hominus will have that resurrection at the ready, but he's getting focused down by Schick. Pulse bomb came out. Align made sure he was able to shift away from the rest of his team as Proto was able to de-mech that Diva Griff, finally cleaning up Izzy B. Now the Dragon Blade getting shut down. Proto was not able to pull it out of the sheath. We got the resurrection coming out though, and here we go. A second chance at that Dragon Blade. The Transcendence comes out on the side of George Mason as Proto finds a kill onto Chaucer, and that was huge. Chaucer was just 2% away from his ultimate. Finally gets the reset and cleans up Schick, but here's the self-destruct coming out from a line. Does connect onto INFH. The rest of the members of George Mason were able to make it back, and a huge biotic nade comes out from Izzy B, forcing them back. A line finds a second kill onto Griff, and this might have just been it. Self-destruct comes out from Hamster Quest. It's not going to be enough, but the Primal Rage for RKNM will be, and there it is, the resurrection. Pulse bomb not quite enough coming out from Schick, but still up against it are George Mason University. Hamster Quest caught out, not able to get his mech quite yet. And they're just staggering him as the line finds a kill onto Sir Hominus, and they're forcing them back. There aren't enough members of George Mason here. Griff and Proto have the possibility to fight back, but through a Primal Rage, through a Defense Matrix, this is going to be such a difficult task. They have got all the damage mitigation in the world. Hamster Quest once again demeched as Graviton Surge comes out, no one caught in it, but there's the self-destruct. Now it's all down to Griff to try and keep this alive. It's an overtime. He's trying his best, but the pulse bomb comes out. Griff will fall along with Sir Hominus. RKNM, it's going to be Schick with that connecting onto RKNM, and Proto now just trying his best with that Dragon Blade, but it's been an overtime for so long. As soon as they're off the point, it will go down, and now Berkeley with the third map.
3 to 6.
GG's getting called. We're gonna take a 5-minute break, looks like. And currently, Berkeley up 3-0 up against George Mason University. A line calling for no breaks. You just take 5-minute breaks when Sir PDCs calls Chaucer, but man, that was just such a crazy push coming out from the side of Berkeley there. It made it almost impossible for George Mason to do anything, and I think, you know, Berkeley played that really well. They challenged immediately out of the gates, you know, with only 1 minute left on the clock for George Mason University. They made them fight for every single inch, and we saw that payload didn't make it into the car wash portion of that first stretch there until they had about 20 seconds left. So once again, Jamerson here for Tespa Training Grounds Promotion Tournament, but we are going to take a short break before we get back into this. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. You call yourself a gamer? No, you gotta get it. Okay. Welcome back, guys. We are now moving on to map number 4 between Berkeley and George Mason University. It's going to be Lijiang Towers. Once again, I'm Jamerson here for the Tespa Training Grounds Promotion Tournament. We've immediately got a pause. But now we've had 3 payload maps coming out, 2 hybrid, 1 full escort on, it was, I believe, Hollywood, Kings Row, and Watchpoint Gibraltar. Now we're moving on to a control map, a completely different beast here. It's gonna just come down to a full team deathmatch, honestly, as both teams are already hovering over a really divey composition. Got a few more seconds waiting on the line. Habs request an INFH to, complete out their picks. But already, it looks like we're getting a 2-2-2 dive coming out on the side of George Mason University. Proto is going to be on the Genji. Griff picking up the Tracer. And then Winston and Zarya to round out that comp. And it's going to be a mirror. Interesting, neither side going for the pharmacy, especially because we are here on Garden. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I blanked on that map name for the longest time. So it is going to be the mirrored composition as both teams already making their way on over towards the bridge, excuse me. Chick already in the back line aligned with the 2-man Swift Strike, and they're cleaning house already on the side of Berkeley. They're about to get the full team wipe. They're trying to make their way on back, and that will be a clean team fight. Opening volley, just super strong coming out from Berkeley, their line. Opening things up with just a 2-man Swift Strike. You don't get a better opening than that, really. And so, Berkeley will take control of the point first. And now George Mason opting to not try and play onto the bridge. They're going for that white room push, as they did look for the few stragglers there at the end. And now both teams meeting onto the point. We do have a dive, but once again, a line coming in with a Swift Strike, getting the resets now. 3 members already down on the side of George Mason University as Quantum finds a kill onto Proto. Now they're just cleaning up once again. Zerhamid is the final member remaining here on the point, is trying his best as Lucio to make it on out, but he will get staggered almost all the way back towards spawn, and now aligned just sitting outside of their spawn using that deflect. And already they got 2 ultimates in tow. They've got the pulse bomb along with the Dragon Blade. Proto swapping off on to that far. There's no one really to deal with them. INFH also swapped off. Hamster Quest dropped down low, and it's gonna be the Dragon Blade coming out from a line. Will he get a second mid-air? Gets the kill onto Proto. No one's died on the side of Berkeley yet. They've already accrued 16 kills, if my math is correct here. Griff trying to go in for a 2v1. Pulse Bomb gets whiffed. Quantum will be able to stay safe. Now Slurpee Thief in the back line with Schick. Hunts down IFNH. Also going for RKNM. But Slurpee Thief staying right on top of him. And Berkeley still yet to have lose a man.
Much better.
It's already at 85%. And now, Berkeley just one fight away from securing the first point here on Lijiang Tower. Serpy Thief along with Chick once again on top of Zerhominus, drops him real low. He will just fall to his death, and just like that, Berkeley with a complete 100 to 0.
Score
0 to 100 here on the first point on Garden Lijiang Tower, just going all in favor of Berkeley so far. Now we're moving on to command. Seeing some swap offs coming out.
Empty your mind. Focus on the task at hand.
So they're going with a solo heal strat currently.
4, 3,
On the side of George Mason, never mind. I had an FH, is gonna swap off from that soldier. He's gonna pick up the Ana. So really gonna have to bank off the nano blades from RKNM. Both teams meet. They do have the Reinhardt for Hamster Quest here, but it's still one of the harder characters to play, especially against triple dive. But there we go, RKNM finally getting the first frag of the map onto Slurpy Thief. A line will also fall immediately afterwards. Schick though trying his best to keep this alive, but he will fall. Protogeo finding a great direct rocket shot. Like that, they'll win the first fight and gain control of the point, and now they're pushed up into the choke point. Chaucer finds a kill onto RKNM. You gotta be careful with these Zenyatas. They can dish out so much damage, and now Griff getting cleaned off. George Mason biting off more than they can chew as Griff falls. There's only 4 members on the point. Slurpy Thief jumps on top of them. Proto getting focused down. He will be able to make it back to the safety of his team. With that, Berkeley will be able to flip the point. Only 23% on the board before it gets flipped. Now Berkeley pushing up towards that choke point. As Griff falls there. Get the holding pattern. Quantum sitting on that Graviton Surge. George Mason University have to be very careful when they make this push in. There's really nothing to try and mitigate the damage. They don't have the Lucio sound barrier quite yet, but he gets it from the damage. As we do have the Transcendence that comes out on the side of Berkeley, but it's not going to be enough to keep Slurpy Thief alive. Here's a Shatter, connects onto Chaucer, and Izzy. Now they're on the hunt as the deflect comes on out. Quantum gets cleaned up by Griff. Now it's a back and forth affair as Berkeley are able to get 47% on the board before it gets flipped on over. They've got the blade, but nothing else behind it on the side of George Mason University for this hold, and there's 4 ultimates on the side of Berkeley for them to work. They're gonna have the sound barrier, they've got the Primal Rage, Pulse Bomb comes out, but it only connects onto shield here. Hamster Quest will be able to stay healthy now, but here comes the Dragon Blade along with the sound barrier. RKNM is trying his best, but he still has to get through so much shield, only gets 1 for his efforts. Slurpy Thief was put to sleep, but he's got the Primal Rage. Now we do have the Deadeye coming on out, but Slurpy Thief is just gonna go ahead and back him off to an angle where he's not gonna be able to get anything off at all. Great play coming out from him on that Winston. Now Hamster Quest able to get the kill onto Izzy B though. The charge comes out, he misses a line, finds the kill onto Zerhominus, and now they're fighting back on the side of Berkeley. 70% ticking on up. Just like that, as soon as RKNM gets cleaned up, they'll be able to flip it right back in their favor as Berkeley. So almost 80 for the side of George Mason. Coming into this next team fight though, Quantum with another Graviton Surge. This time though, they're not playing at the choke, which is interesting. They had the big bomb combo at the ready, and last time we had this combo at the ready, Schick was able to get a 5-man big bang. Also clean up. It's only going to be 2 members caught inside of it. This time they don't have a sound barrier for Schick with that pulse on. Gets the kill onto Zerhominus, and that's already 4 members going down. They're going to back off. The rest of the members are getting cleaned up. We've got the Deadeye getting used by a line, keeping them stuck inside their spawn for now. That'll buy some time for the side of Berkeley. 85 to 79%. Slurpee Thief has another Primal Rage at the ready, but here's the whole hog coming up from Proto. Nano boost onto Proto also, but he gets cleaned up by Quantum, and here's the Transcendence. Now, Trigger being pulled by Berkeley. Counter Deadeye coming up from Griff, but he's all the way over at Choke, and he actually lands it onto a line. Chowster answers right on back, and they've got the sound barrier to fight back into this. George Mason pushing forward now, RKNM. Unfortunately, there we go. Dragon Blade comes on out. Griff lands the headshot onto Quantum, but nothing off this Dragon Blade quite yet. He gets cleaned up by Sick. It's all down to IFNH along with Griff. Has a quest, able to make it in time. Two-man Earthshatter comes out. He cleans up Shik and Izzy B by himself, keeping this alive. He's low, but it's in overtime now as Proto makes his way onto the point. Now they're just trickling one by one, and in overtime, Berkeley will be able to take the 2-0 lead here on Lijiang.
Score 2-0.
Believe this is a best of 7. So now Berkeley on match point. The line's already hovering over this Widowmaker. We saw him light George Mason up with this on Gibraltar. Okay, now he's just trolling. I don't even know why I try, guys. I don't even know why I try. There's still plenty of time for teams to lock in their compositions now. Actually, no. Gates have opened. Ha! I'm just sleeping on the job. So we do have the Reinhardt for Hamster Quest once again. Hook comes on out, misses Proto Geo. Slurpee Thief backs off. Now, Quantum dropping a little low. He has to be careful as they are starting to converge upon him right now. But Slurpee Thief's able to make it to the back line. IFNH misses his sleep dart. Griff getting focused down. He does have that biotic nade to keep him alive. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Arcanum going down. Izzy B finds a second kill. It's a Lucio fragging on out. The point getting contested right now as it has unlocked. It's only 2 members. Proto along with Hamster. Never mind, just Proto. He's going to fall for his efforts, and Berkeley still fighting over this point right now. But they will force them back. No one's actually capped it. Slurpee Thief, realizing their mistake, will cap it in favor of Berkeley. Again, this is just one of those compositions where it's really difficult to run a Reinhardt into. They're going for the high ground here. As they fall, Slurpee Thief just jumps right on top of INFH. He's already brought down to half HP, finds the kill onto RKNM with that fall damage. Sick, takes out his counterpart in Griffin. Already it's a 6v4, 6v2 advantage in favor of Berkeley. They're already at 30%, and they haven't used really anything besides that Primal Rage on the side of Berkeley so far. Quantum. He's got that Graviton Surge at the ready as Proto swaps on off, but it might be too late at this point. This next team fight arguably gonna go in favor of Berkeley. There's the barrage coming out from Aligned. He picks up 2. That's already 4 or 5 members down. It's all just down to Griff, who does make them fall back onto the spawn, but 60%, and they've been very stingy with their ults on the side of Berkeley. Just 1 used in every engagement so far. They got everything they could possibly hope for to close this out. Both support ultimates. They've got the Graviton Surge. Grav comes out. We got the Boostio on the side of George Mason there, as they actually find 1 kill onto Slurpee Thief, but Izzy B does have that sound barrier. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to keep Sick alive. Charge comes out, doesn't quite connect, but Aligned keeping this alive, picking up 2. The point being contested right now. Aligned though with the ground level barrage, picks up the kill onto Hamster Quest. Now Berkeley fighting right on back, and they will be able to maintain control of the point. 97-98. They're going to clean up George Mason University, and GG's getting called. Berkeley with the 4-0 win over George Mason, showing why they are your Tespa Fall champions. Doing it in great fashion here. Congratulations to them. Winning in the promotion tournaments. They'll be facing off in the arena now. They're it is. Quantum, time and time again, with big plays on that Zarya. Wasn't as vocal and active as he was on King's Row, but still a high impact player in his own right. And yeah, Cal Berkeley doing a fantastic job taking the 4-0 victory, so congratulations to them. They'll be moving up into the Tespa arena now. And yeah, they're continuing their dominance so far. They 4-0'd, I believe, 3-0'd in the live finals, and they 4-0'd here. And they did it in great fashion. All their DPS looking fantastic. Aligned, we saw how deep his hero pool is, along with Sick. They pulled out numerous different compositions. And at the end of the day, they were able to best George Mason University. So congratulations to them. And that'll do it for me. Once again, I'm Jamerson. Huge shout outs to Tespa, and especially for Tachyon for taking time out here to put on this stream for you guys and get these VODs up onto YouTube and everything. And yeah, I don't know who else to shout out, honestly, but that'll be it for us. And so we'll see you guys next week for some more Tespa Collegiate Series action. Have a good day.